Hi everyone and welcome. My name is Daisy and I'm a knitwear designer. On this channel, I talk about knitting, my designs, and all the creative processes around my work. I also talk about Ukraine, my heritage, and many other things. I'm recording this episode primarily for my Patreon and YouTube channel members who will get a primary access. So if you'd like to stay up to date, please consider joining me on Patreon or as a member of my YouTube channel. If you're watching this at a later date, please subscribe and enjoy the episode. Hi everyone! Do you remember the embossed custom I had shown you last time? It's ready. I finished it in 3 days. So let me show you. Last time I told you about the cardigan I was re-knitting for myself based on my mom's pattern and called Mom's Cardigan. I published it first in 2020 and it was one of my very first patterns. So yeah, I knitted myself a bigger version of it and I was using it for many years. It did stretch out quite a lot because first of all it's quite heavy and it's big, and it was hanging on a hook in my closet. Yeah, very there, very available to just grab and go. But that is not a good idea. Please do never hang your knitted pieces. So it's either folded or folded. There is no, I don't know a good option of hanging on hangers or hooks for that matter. So in any case, that will stretch your sweater and it will be saggy, your shoulders will be stretched out. You don't want that. So yeah, lesson learned first, and second, I decided to make myself a new one. I wanted this one to be a bit shorter. I'm not gonna retell you the whole story, so if you're wondering, just go back to the previous episode and come back here. So it's ready, and I found the original buttons that my mom's, the original Mom's Cardigan had, and I attached them to this one. So this one has buttons. I am not necessarily going to button it, but it's just nice to have them here, like a little touch and a little reminder. One of them has a crack. Can you say it? Yeah, it's this I don't know what they are made from. No idea. Maybe shells, I'm not sure. It looks like this, and then it has this kind of crack. It could also be some sort of plastic, but I'm not sure. So these are very old, and I remember playing with this crack. It's so tactile, and this is a tactile memory that I have from this cardigan from my mom. So I attached it back to this one, and it's such a sweet little thing. So yeah, it is ready, and I actually already wore it outside. I'm very happy with it. I was worried that it's gonna be a bit too bulky because I took a smaller needle size, and even though my gauge was very close, I still felt like the fabric was very dense. But when I washed it, it actually relaxed quite a lot, and it gave in a bit of a length as well. So it feels much more drapey now than it was when I was working on it. So overall, super happy. But one thing, the sleeves grew longer, and the other thing, I ran out of mohair yarn. Theoretically, I had 5 skeins of Alafos Lopi, which is 100 meters per 100 gram. So it's 500 meters of yarn, and then I had 2 small skeins of mohair and just some bits of leftover. I forgot to weigh them, so apparently one of those skeins wasn't a full one, so I ran out of yarn for the sleeves. So I have it till, you can see it, I think, till here on both sleeves. I did it luckily I did it symmetrical, and then I had to add a lighter mohair strand to finish the sleeves actually. So that was a bit of a surprise, because since the cardigan is less oversized, I have less of a sloped shoulder, less of a dropped shoulder, so my sleeve have to be longer than in the previous one. Haha. So yeah, that was a little bit that I didn't calculate on, and anyway, it turned out quite nice. I don't, well, you can see the change in color, and I have to fold them to get a good length for me, but I'm thinking of just unraveling them and yeah, redoing the cuff. That's easily done, but I'm not sure what I want. If I want to keep them folded, which I also like, which I also had on the previous one, or I want to redo it properly and use this yarn for the pockets, because I also ran out of yarn and I don't have enough for the pockets. I might have enough just for one, but I would probably want them to be symmetrical and have 2 pockets on yeah, it's the front, on the front. But it also doesn't have to have pockets. I could in theory make a pocket on the inside to put like 1 pocket on one side to put my keys or something, a handkerchief, something small that I need to carry with myself. But normally my dresses have pockets, so that's fine. I don't necessarily have to have a pocket on a cardigan. So yeah, and I also skipped on this one. I skipped the collar part. I only did the buttonhole without the shaping of the collar, because the pattern also has shaping here to have a bit of a wider collar on the top. So it goes the same panel here and the bottom, and then there are more rows here on around the neck to have a more closed in collar. So yeah, that was my modification of this one. So I just stick to just a few rows of the button placket. Yeah, so very quick. I took 7mm needles, which is, I don't know, is it 10 in US? And 3 days or so. It was over. I started on Friday when I recorded the previous episode, and over the weekend on Monday I think I finished it. Yeah, very nice, very happy with it, and I think I will get a lot of wear from this one. The old one I think I'm going to donate. I tried to save it. I really tried to save it, but there is no way of my idea was I tried to redo the collar, so I just unraveled it and I knitted it more tightly, but it didn't help because the back is stretched out. So in order to re-knit the top of the back, I would need to undo I would probably need to undo both sleeves, and then undo the shoulder seam, and then redo the back, and then re-knit the sleeves, but it's too much work. So it doesn't make sense, considering that I already made a new one for myself. So no, not this time. I think I will just give it to the charity shop, and then someone else can wear it. Someone bigger than me probably could really enjoy it. So yeah, that's on that one. But now we finally can move to something that I wanted to show you for many months now. It's been a very frustrating project because I knitted the central panel 2 or 3 times, and every time there was something that didn't work. First of all, I couldn't find the right needle size for it. and then I was playing with different patterns. So yeah, it's been a journey, and in the meantime I came up with 2 other designs that are already either out or in the process of testing. So while avoiding returning back to this one, I switched to something else. So this was a bit of a challenge, and I'm not sure if I'm 100% satisfied with the result, but I think that remains to be seen, because I still have to wear it and see how it works for me. So that's a bit always a process of getting used to a new construction, a new idea. To be honest, I didn't like my bifurca vest when I finished it as well. I felt it could be a bit uncomfortable. It might not work necessarily the way I imagine it. So it took me a week or 2 of wearing it to actually get the feeling of it and the idea how I can style it and how I can wear it and how I can feel comfortable in it. So this one is a bit the same. It uses, let me introduce to you my Drevo pullover. I called it Drevo because of the tree-like pattern on the central panel. I'm showing you. So this is what it is. It uses the same construction as my bifurca vest, meaning that there is a central panel that is knit in the round, and then there are sides that are knit flat sideways and joined on the underarms and on the sides. And then there are sleeves that are worked up down in the round. So it's that kind of modular construction that I worked with before, but here it's a little bit different than in bifurca vest, because first of all, the central panel, the increases are done in every round, so it goes it's more square than with the bifurca vest, when it's more rectangular, in terms that the degree of increase lines is 45%, like perfect 45%, and in bifurca vest it's more of like 60% or so. So it does feel different, and it behaves a bit more different than with what I worked previously. And yeah, there's a lot of ribbing here, so that is also quite intense for someone who doesn't like working in ribbing. I have to warn you there, but I think it also looks really nice. I tried with different patterns to maybe transition from, sorry, that's my neighbors, to transition from ribbing to maybe another pattern, but that didn't really work out, considering the construction that it's so nice here on the shoulders and the central panel. And then yeah, so a lot of iterations, a lot of experiments. It's been a journey for sure, but I'm quite happy with the result. So let me tell you a bit more. It has this beautiful tree-like pattern on the central panel of the front. And then these are the shoulders where the pattern is also on. And then this is the back. There is also a pattern on the back and shoulders, of course. And unlike with my bifurca vest, where the front and back v-neck cuts are the same, it's basically you fold it in the rectangular in the middle, and you have v-neck on the front and on the back. It's very nice for a vest and the summery feel of the vest that it gives. But for this one, I wanted to raise the back a bit to not have the very low cut of the v-neck. And there is a back extension section there, which actually allows to do that. And if you want to modify and have even less of a cut on the back, because still there is a bit of a, you see, a bit of a cut on the back. So that's also very easily modified by extending the back extension section and having, yes, a lower v-neck on the front, but also less of a cutout on the back. There is a separate video that I recorded for the pattern with explanation of the construction, what you work first, how you move around, and then there is also a section on modifications where I talk on how you can modify this pattern to fit your body and your style. Because with this kind of things, it's always a bit of a game where you can play with little elements to get the right fit, the right modification just for you. I think my main challenge now when I'm preparing it for the test is to get the armhole shaping right. I think that would be very interesting to see if I manage to get it right for different sizes, because I also played with that this time more than in my previous designs, because I usually would do just a very simple shaping for all of the sizes, and here you have a different armhole shaping for different sizes, so like for every size you will have a different decrease rate, and yeah, that's gonna be fun to see how that works. Last time I also showed you my cinnamon pullover made in Volvo from Retrosaria, and this is actually the same yarn. It's also Volvo, which is 100% Portuguese wool, and it's a sport weight if I'm not wrong. My color is number 6, and it is quite difficult to photograph. It's always difficult when you work with dark colors to show a design, but this one is also quite tricky because it's this purplish, yeah, very beautiful shade in real life, but also very difficult to showcase. And what I like about this yarn, and that's why I mentioned cinnamon, is that it's really good for textures, for cables, twisted stitches and everything in that kind, and ribbing looks really good in it. So it is a good yarn for this kind of pattern. The pattern is written for 9 sizes. It has a tapered sleeve with a bit of a longer cuff than usual, so it has a more fitted cuff that goes for like, I don't know, 15 centimeters, like that. And what else? There is a section of garter stitch which separates the ribbing of the central panel from the sleeve and the sides. Then the sides are joined with 3 needle bind off, which creates this nice little element on the side. And what else? It's not super cropped, but it is still quite cropped, but the length, as I mentioned, could also be easily modified by adjusting the length of the hem, or by playing in the first place with the central panel itself. So there are options there for anyone. I do think that because of this construction, it might not work for all of us out there. It could be something of a challenge for people with bigger busts who will need darts and more precise fitting for the bust. I do understand that. It does come, the whole construction comes with its own limitations that you just can't overcome without like too complicated solutions. So I wanted to keep it simple and accessible to all of us, but it does, like anything in this world, it does come with limitations, and it might not be everyone's cup of tea. So yeah, overall I think it's a very feminine, very modern design that I'm hoping to have out in summer. I called it Drevo because of this pattern on the central panel, which resembles trees, and Drevo in an archaic Ukrainian means tree, and it speaks to me on so many levels, and to many of my patrons on Patreon, it did resemble trees. So if I had to pick a tree related name, that is a really good one. It's short and memorable, and yeah, I hope you like it. To be honest, I'm very happy that I'm done with this one, and I'm almost ready to call for testers, so this will be something that we will be working in the next few weeks before preparing it for the release. I'm looking forward to hear about what my testers think about it. It's quite an advanced knit, I mean, in the terms that you have to have a bit of an understanding of what you're doing and how to maybe adjust it to yourself, to your own body. So in that respect, I'm hoping that my testers will help me help you adjust the pattern and make it as accessible as possible. Otherwise, I'm preparing for the workshop at knitting retreat organized by Natasha Hornby here in the Netherlands on an island. It's gonna be at the end of May, and it will be one of my rare public appearances that I'm very looking forward to. So we will be creating unique botanical patterns that hopefully knitters will bring home with memories from the island, and make something very special in the memory of the retreat. Or yeah, that's I'm very excited about it. So my role there is not so much about teaching technical things, but more in inspiring creative thoughts, ideas, and helping the knitters to bring them to life. So just a tool for your inspirations. So that's something that will become in the next few weeks, and yeah, after that I'm going to visit my family in Ukraine, of course, if I'm allowed to travel, considering the situation. So yeah, that's the plan, and I hope to be able to share with you more and show you some glimpses of my Ukrainian countryside and the life there. So stay tuned, and see you in the next one. Bye.